supporting the National Organization Women's Legal Defense Fund. I didn't know.
For God's sake, America already has more guns than people. How many guns do we need until everybody is safe?
That's what gun control is all about. The ultimate goal is an unarmed and subjugated America.
Criminals will always find guns.
Absolutely.
And it is the cities with the most restrictive gun policies in the country where...
If you were serious, you would acknowledge that 96% of mass public shootings happen in an area where guns are banned.
And as a result, may not be able to operate their firearm.
But, Madam Speaker, guns have been prevalent in the United States of America since before our founding.
Concerned reader Margie. Margie's letter, addressed to the South Florida Sun-Sentinel's real estate advice column, has brought to light a contentious and pressing issue within her community. As a concerned resident, she sought guidance regarding her homeowners association's purported attempt to ban guns within residential homes, which has left her and many of her neighbors deeply divided. In her letter, Margie revealed that the HOA was actively deliberating the implementation of a comprehensive gun ban throughout their neighborhood. What makes this situation particularly concerning is that the ban's scope extends to residents' personal homes, effectively infringing on their Second Amendment rights. This radical proposition by the HOA represents a significant departure from the usual regulations concerning common areas within a housing community.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Criminals, miscreants, will always get their hands on guns.
Ban assault weapons. Ban them again. Do it now. Enough. Do something.
The issue Margie's letter raised has ignited a fiery debate within the neighborhood. Residents are sharply divided, with some vehemently opposing the proposed gun ban, while others express support for it. These differing stances reflect the broader national debate on gun control, where Second Amendment rights are juxtaposed with concerns over public safety. Those who oppose the ban argue that it infringes upon their individual liberties and their constitutional right to bear arms for self-defense. They believe that the right to protect oneself and one's home is a fundamental principle, and that the HOA should not be able to dictate what they can or cannot do within their confines of their own property. Conversely, those in favor of the ban are likely driven by concerns over safety and the potential risks associated with firearms within the community. They may argue that banning guns in residential homes is a proactive measure to minimize the risk of accidents or violence, particularly in a densely populated neighborhood.
They were assaulted and shot by someone and couldn't defend themselves because their guns were taken from them.
But, Madam Speaker, guns have been prevalent in the United States of America since before our founding.
Margie's letter to the advice column reflects a microcosm of the larger ongoing national dialogue surrounding gun control. This issue touches on fundamental principles of individual rights and the balance between personal freedoms and public safety. It's a discussion that transcends the confines of Margie's neighborhood and resonates with a broader audience, making it an issue of significant public interest. Real estate lawyers' response. Gary Singer, a distinguished figure in the field of real estate law, provided a thoughtful and considered response to the contentious issue raised by Margie regarding her HOA attempt to ban guns in their community. Singer's analysis delves into the legal aspects of HOA gun bans, addressing both the theoretical authority of HOAs and the practical implications of enforcing such bans. First and foremost, Singer acknowledged that HOAs do possess, in theory, the authority to implement restrictions on firearms in common areas within their communities. This aligns with the general purview of HOAs, which is to establish and enforce rules and regulations aimed at preserving the aesthetic and functional aspects of the community. However, Singer's response does not stop at this acknowledgement. He proceeds to question the practicality of enforcing such a comprehensive ban on guns.
Turning law-abiding Americans into felons by banning pistol braces
have really run amok, infringing and trampling on the Second Amendment.
Singer's concerns regarding the enforcement of a community-wide gun ban are valid and thought-provoking. He pointed out the potential legal liability that the HOA might face if a crime occurs within the community as a result of the gun ban. This raises essential considerations about the unintended consequences of well-intentioned policies. If the HOA were to ban guns and a crime were to occur where a resident was unable to defend themselves due to the ban, the association could be held accountable for impairing residents' ability to protect themselves. Singer's response reflects the need for a balanced approach in crafting HOA regulations. It highlights that while HOAs may have the authority to impose certain rules and restrictions, those rules should be carefully considered to avoid infringing on fundamental rights, such as the right to self-defense. Additionally, the potential legal consequences of such restrictions should be taken into account, ensuring that the HOA's actions do not expose it to undue liability. Singer's expertise in real estate law enables him to provide valuable insight into the legal intricacies of this complex issue. His response serves as a reminder that while HOAs can establish rules for the common good of the community, they should do so judiciously, keeping in mind the rights and safety of the residents they serve.
Could lose the ability to use these tools and as a result may not be able to operate their firearm.
Well, Mr. Wilcox, there's no law. Congress didn't pass it.
This legal perspective offers a comprehensive view of the challenges and potential pitfalls associated with HOA gun bans, enriching the ongoing discourse within the community and beyond. Keeping firearms at home for self-defense. Singer unequivocally emphasizes that residents possess a fundamental right to keep firearms within their homes, a right that has received unambiguous support from the highest legal authority in the land, the Supreme Court of the United States. This right is not a mere privilege, but a cornerstone of individual freedoms and constitutional protections. It is rooted in the Second Amendment, which affirms the right to keep and bear arms. The Supreme Court has repeatedly upheld and reaffirmed the sanctity of this right, recognizing it as an integral part of the American legal framework. Furthermore, Singer underscores the profound significance of this right, which goes beyond legal precedent. The principle of self-defense is deeply intertwined with the right to keep firearms in one's home.
If you were serious, you would acknowledge that 96% of mass public shootings happen in an area where guns are banned.
Our Second Amendment. It's a hell no to government trampling on our freedoms.
The home, in this context, is not just a physical structure, but a sanctuary, a place where individuals should feel secure and have the means to protect themselves and their loved ones in times of threat or danger. Singer's insight draws attention to the delicate balance between individual rights and communal regulations. While HOAs may have authority over certain aspects of community life, they must navigate carefully when addressing matters that touch upon fundamental rights, such as self-defense. Residents' ability to protect themselves within their own homes is a deeply cherished and constitutionally protected prerogative. Any infringement upon this right should be approached with caution and a full understanding of the legal and moral underpinnings of self-defense. Enforcing gun control in HOAs. Singer acknowledges that the enforcement of gun control policies within HOAs is a multifaceted challenge. Legal experts hold differing views on the extent of an HOA's authority in this matter. Some argue that community associations have the power to impose restrictions on firearms, particularly in common areas. These areas are often considered the shared spaces within a community, and HOAs generally have a more straightforward path to regulate them.
Criminals will always find guns.
Absolutely.
And it is the cities with the most restrictive gun policies in the country where
This rule turns law-abiding gun owners into felons is a result of unelected bureaucrats.
However, Singer also sheds light on the opposing viewpoint. Some legal experts contend that the ownership interests of residents complicate the issue. Residents hold a stake in the common areas of the community, which might limit the extent to which the HOA can regulate and restrict the rights of those who own these areas collectively. This complexity underscores that any decision or regulation regarding gun control within the community should take into account the legal and ownership intricacies. Singer's response also highlights the challenges in enforcing rules concerning concealed carry. Concealed carry, by its very nature, is hidden from plain view, making enforcement more difficult. HOAs may struggle to monitor and control the concealed carry of firearms within the community.
That men and women in this country have the right to defend their own lives.
That's what gun control is all about. The ultimate goal is an unarmed and subjugated America.
Maybe 3%, maybe 5%, but we're looking at what could have prevented 90% of the mass shootings.
This difficulty in enforcement raises concerns about the practicality and effectiveness of implementing such rules. This response by Singer underscores that gun control within HOAs involves a web of legal and practical complexities. The debate extends beyond the broad strokes of pro or anti-gun control arguments, delving into the specific legal and logistical issues tied to implementation and enforcement. These nuances reveal the need for a thorough and well-considered approach that respects the rights of residents while balancing the community's safety and regulations. As the community grapples with these complexities, it becomes evident that any decisions or regulations must be approached with a profound understanding of the legal intricacies and an awareness of the practical challenges that come with enforcing them.
For God's sake, America already has more guns than people. How many guns do we need until everybody is safe?
Americans have the fundamental right to keep and bear arms that shall not be infringed.
The response by the real estate lawyer provides valuable insights into these complexities, enriching the ongoing discussion within the community and offering guidance for those seeking to navigate this multifaceted issue. Government involvement. Singer makes it clear that in his view, gun control should be primarily a matter for government authorities to address. This assertion stems from the recognition that gun control policies touch upon fundamental rights and public safety on a scale that goes beyond the scope of a local HOA. HOAs typically focus on community regulations and aesthetics, whereas the regulation of firearms is a complex matter that extends far beyond these boundaries. Central to Singer's stance is the preservation of individual rights and private property. He underlines the importance of maintaining the sanctity of these fundamental principles while ensuring that public safety is not compromised.
A critical and urgent issue: gun violence in America. We're here because gun violence is destroying community.
Supporting the National Organization Women's Legal Defense Fund. I didn't know.
By advocating for government involvement in gun control, Singer aligns with the broader constitutional framework, which places such matters under the purview of federal, state, and local governments. Singer's recommendation is straightforward. The government, through legislation and regulations, should be the responsible party for shaping gun control measures. This approach ensures a comprehensive and balanced examination of the issue, one that considers the rights and responsibilities of individuals, as well as the broader interests of public safety. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.